Good afternoon, July the 15th, 2015. Halfway through the month, halfway through summer. Hard to believe. Time flies when you're having fun, right? We came in this morning with a up bias for the E-mini. The trade that we saw from the short side was failure to take out and hold the overnight session highs. Really, we're pretty content to sell 21.10s to 21.15s. But if they couldn't get out and take out and hold the overnight session high, that would be a reasonable short too. Our first buy was in the 21.01, 21.99 area. That was buy one. And you can see right here that you got a head and shoulders pattern, a retest failure. And again, trading is very, very difficult. If you don't catch this first run and if you don't hold on, they're just not a hell of a lot of volatility to work with. So the idea was to be a buyer off the opening. It worked. The short trade that we tried on the first bar right here did not work. This short trade that we came back in and did work. Got us right down in our buy area. Head and shoulders pattern right here takes eventually up to 2107.75 where they got stops above the overnight session high. Sell here, sideways. Fed beige book hits somewhere in here. Head and shoulders pattern, break the support, the selling increases, and again it doesn't show a lot of liquidity. The 50 lot trader was selling this area right in here, and then when the market breaks they add to their shorts. 50 lot trader peak selling for the 50 lot trader came on that bar. Then they start, the market stabilizes and they cover the shorts and the market rallies back up. So again, know from which side you want to trade and trade it. Usually is the better trade. So what do we see for tomorrow? Tomorrow options, the pressure will be on those that own options to stay with them, get in, get out, take profits. The big play yesterday was the 21.10 calls. Didn't quite make it. There was no play in puts. We'll take a look at those numbers and see if we can get ready for option expiration. Potential new move out of the middle right here. The news event that precipitated this was the Fed beige book. And it showed optimism, modest to moderate growth in the 12 Fed districts. The only two concerns were dollar strength and weakness in the oil sector. The rest of it looked pretty good. And even though we've had a couple of down months in automobile sales, I mean, it's still cranking along north of 16 million. That's anything north of 16 million, and just the automakers can make a ton of money. Okay, if the market were to close right here, we've got our 95-97 area, so that would be buy one. The 90.92 would be buy two. The selling started in the 05 area, so 2100 plus or minus sell one, 2104.06 for sell two. Tomorrow's news: jobless claims 282, a little bit higher than normal. Philly Fed at 12. And then housing market index at 59. This housing market index numbers live could actually come in higher. Philly Fed. Hard to say based on today's industrial production numbers, so we'll just call it equal, neutral on that one, and this one's a little bit bigger. But the key, again, I think tomorrow will be the option market expiration. Okay, the note and the bond closed strong, even though Janet Yellen was saying if the economy warrants, we're going to raise interest rates. And the bond market and the the notes, the financials said, what? Not true. So we got an inside day here on the note. That suggests a trading range tomorrow. Weakness in the E-mini certainly contributed to the rally in bonds and notes this afternoon. If the E-mini comes back, I don't think we'll see the buying that we saw late today in this contract. So here we are. We got a seller against 16, so Ferry to take out 12 to 16, sell 1. 19 to 23, sell 2. The breakout came from the 2 area, so 1 to 5, buy 1. And then 25 to 29, buy 2. See a trading range day tomorrow. Yellen's threat to raise interest rates probably is enough to cap this if the E-mini doesn't sell. Now, if the E-mini continues to sell overnight, we don't want any part of the short side. Sometimes the inverse relationship works, sometimes it doesn't. If you need it to work, it won't. That's been my experience. If you didn't need any help from the inverse relationship, it just added to your gains. Futures are perverse that way. It's just you just have to understand, if good news doesn't break a market, buy it. If bad news doesn't rally a market, sell it. I mean, bad news doesn't break a market, buy it. Good news doesn't rally a market, sell it. The previous statement will get you in a hell of a lot of trouble. The knob spread expanded a bunch today. We're into this tail over here. So failure to take out 28 to the buck, sell 1. 7 to 11, sell 2. I just can't see us breaking this market out based on the current news and the Fed's threat to raise interest rates. This breakout here down at 150.01 would be kind of ideal, but that's a long ways off. So come down in these single prints. 13 to 9, buy 1. If the E-mini sells, continues to sell into its close, we won't have a shot at that. And then 29 to 20 to 01, buy 2. Giving it a lot of room. This is just a big contract and it moves in a big way. E-mini sideways to lower, you're just looking for a place to buy it. Pretty simple. Okay, looking at gold. Gold got whacked again today, lower high, lower low, so the F1 screen says we're finding looking for a place to sell it. Definitely a B. So we have 49, 50, 50, 52, so we'll make 49, 51, sell 1. And then 54, 56, sell 2. We're 47.70, so 41, 43, buy 1. And 35, 37, buy 2. Market's definitely under pressure. Not from any news that I could see. Just don't have a hell of a lot of volatility, and again, you see the cash buyer participating on weakness, and they don't liquidate their positions. Crude oil got whacked today. Higher high, higher low on the bottom, so maybe we have ourselves a trading range. Looks a little lower to me on this one, but that screen also says if they don't break the low, it's okay to buy it. So we got pretty good buying down here against 51, so we'll make 51, 51 and a quarter, buy 1. Then 50, 25 to 50, buy 2. On the sell side, last rotate up stopped at 85, so 175 to 52, sell 1. Then we'll make 52 and a quarter, 52.50, sell 2. Try to pick up the top of value right here. Okay, what's the euro going to do? The Greeks are rioting in the streets. China's saying, by golly, those numbers they reported this morning are good, fully transparent. We wouldn't lie. The Greeks, they're not afraid to burn cars, break windows, even kill people to get their way. There's nothing they can do. If they don't accept the EU's deal, the austerity and the conditions will be much worse than if they do accept it. They may not want to, but it's going to be pretty hard to get around this. Now, if they want out of the European Union and they want to go back and find their own way, which I think is a legitimate or is a good choice for them, then get a transition, 5 to 8 years, 5 to 10 years. The euros, this screen says lower. But with their economy that's already contracted over 25%, with unemployment at 30%, and everybody that travels there says it's in disrepair, chucking the EU's deal here before you have time to salt away some money or prepare for it is probably maybe the correct action, but it's not one that I think a lot of people will do. Okay, last rotate up stopped at 75, so 75 to 110 is our sell band. And it's pointed lower, 109 and a quarter, 109 even is our buy band, and we'll leave it at that. That's all for July the 15th, 2015. Y'all have a great evening. Still hotter than hell with humidity to match here in Wichita. It is summer. It's what we expect, and we can have higher humidity than you'd expect here on the plains, especially when we've had all the rains that we've had later. So I will be here bright and early in the morning. I trust you'll have a great evening. I'm out of here.